mean, I got some tickets. I didn't get the tickets I wanted to get because last time I was in the Club Renaissance and Made the Movie got videoed and everything. So I'm trying to be back in there again because I just know it's going to happen again.
What were these prices given? Was it giving Renaissance prices or was it giving?
We're going to save this. We're going to save this for the podcast because we got to talk about this.
Hey, community, it's Ronald.
And it's Darnell from Natives the Series.
What's brewing today?
Natives, the series.
Beyonce Cowboy Carter tickets.
And Kendrick's halftime show. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report.
Hey, welcome to Minoritea Report. It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Juwan.
And it's Auntie Jarrell. What it do, y'all?
Hey, and how's everyone doing today?
Don't even. That's a setup.
We'll
get
to it.
I refuse. Not today.
Listen, before we ruin everybody's Mondays with our all of the news that we have to share about body aches and Beyonce tickets, the community may have noticed a new voice at the top of the call.
Yeah, a couple new voices there. Yeah, we have. Let's set it up. We always do these intros. We have the producers, the directors, the creators, the actors, because they be in front of the screen and behind the scene, get it right, the entrepreneurs, the ones, the onlys, Ronald and Darnell from Natives, the series. Hey. Right. Drop the bombs like Funk Flex. How you both doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's just a nice day. It's a little cold, but I've been inside all day, so I've been chilling.
Are you trying to be outside now? Is that what I heard?
I don't know about now. It's getting a little cold. It's supposed to snow too again.
Oh, right.
Oh.
That part. This weather is not it right now. Like we said a few episodes ago, we're like, man, and I will take blame. Dewan said, hey, we've been speaking too loud. Because the last few years, it really hasn't been like a winter on the East Coast at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or much snow.
I blame y'all. I blame all of y'all. Y'all been talking about we haven't had a proper winter. We haven't had no snow, no winter wonderlands. And now we got this shit.
Yeah.
This is not it at all.
Snowing every other week.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It
really is.
I love that for y'all.
Yeah.
I love that for y'all.
But anyway, community, Natives the series. And you know what? I'll let you all kind of explain what it is. And if you haven't heard it or watched it, you late. Come on out, get out there and watch this. But it's like you gotta be on top of these things. So, and before even that, hold on, let me even back up. The Queerty nominated series, by the way. So let's get that out from jump.
Right.
Before we even say what this show is about, how can they even vote for you? Because they can vote because they see your lovely faces anyway. So how can they vote for this series to make sure y'all win?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, the Queerties is open. Voting is open until February 25th. So you can go on Queerty's social media sites, click on the link in the bio, or click on our social media sites, Natives, the series. It's going to be directly the first thing in our bio. You can go vote every single day until February 25th to make sure that we win Best Web Series of 2024.
And you can vote per device. So vote on your iPad, on your
tablet,
okay,
smart TV,
everywhere.
Your sister's Kindle,
your work phone. Figure it out.
Right. Got the burner phone, your baby daddy phone, the DM around the corner.
They have it. So.
The DL around the corner phone.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
So, what are they voting for? Tell us about the series. Like, what is this series even about? If they're like, okay, hold on, who am I voting for?
Yeah, so Natives is a series that follows a group of unapologetic queer Native New Yorkers navigating adulting in the projects of New York City. It's inspired by my upbringing as a queer Afro-Puerto Rican in the projects, and also it kind of expanded and is now a reflection of a lot of the cast and crew's experience, many of who are queer Native New Yorkers. Mm-hmm. So it's a love letter, our love letter to New York, and the New York we rarely see in media.
That part of it. And I'll say even just from jump, we see a lot of just stuff on YouTube and just different series and things like that. And some of it's good, some of it's From jump, this was good because even just aesthetically. I ain't gonna call no names, but just even just aesthetically.
The memorization of it all.
Right, that.
That was
okay, this already got me.
And that was something that was in our production meeting since day one. Like, I remember in the production meetings, they said, we do not want this to look like a web series. Like, we want this to be shipped and ready for HBO. And I feel like that's kind of been our mantra. Filming, post-production, securing a post house, a post producer, an editor, a colorist, all that. I feel like Ronald and the whole entire team, we just always thought of. We always wanted to give quality. That was always in our minds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it definitely shows. Let me tell y'all.
Thank you.
I watched the pilot at least like 3 times. And
oh my god!
Honestly, I really did. I watched it at least 3 times.
I love that.
I started to pick up like little things that I felt like I was missing from shows, and I was just like, "Wow, this is checking so many boxes for me." Even just from the representation part, growing up in the projects as well too. Like from jump, seeing the black lesbian cousin, I was like, got a couple of those too. You know, like I was like, damn, like. I'm not a native of New York, but like as a queer black man, I was like, damn, I still felt it. And then it was the music.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the way I was like, this needs to be a playlist. Where's the playlist?
We have playlists.
Y'all do? Okay, well, I'm gonna find it because
we have like an unofficial playlist
music
because some of the music is actually unreleased. Shout out to the artists. Shout out to Prince of the Bronx. Shout out to Omar, who actually plays Chris. That's actually his song in one of the scenes where Izzy is like laying down. Most of the music we got was like unreleased. We really just wanted that core New York feel, and we were scouting from anywhere. Like, you don't have to be signed to a record label for us to look at you. So most of the music was actually is now on Apple Music. So we have an unofficial playlist.
Okay, let me tell y'all. And the pilot, when y'all was sitting on that bed, I'm not gonna give it away. But there was
give it away. Like y'all said, they late.
Let me tell you, this man, I forget he was talking. I think he was talking about eating ass or something like that. And I was like, this is a gay ass song. Who is this? Is it lyricist? Yeah, lyricist. You should know that. That was a song. Like, at least that's what it picked up on here.
Maybe on YouTube. I think that might have been it. So YouTube sometimes shows some other songs if it's like the is it the song in the deli or this when they're sitting on the bed?
When you're sitting on the bed.
It's sitting on the bed.
Yeah.
Chris. Who played Omar?
Yes. That's Omar who plays Chris in the series. So that's the beat. But then the actual song is unreleased.
Okay, because I need that.
Yes.
You're looking for some background music.
We'll let him know that it's time to release it because people are asking.
Yes.
But I love that you really enjoyed the music. I think, again, we're trying to be really intentional about everything. And for me personally, finding music was the hardest part of producing. And shout out to Darnell because Darnell found a lot of the music as well in episode 1. But a lot of it was indie artists. A lot of them are queer as well, and black and brown. And that was something that was really important for us to do because we want to showcase our community all around, both visually, sonically, behind the camera. All of that was extremely important to us.
Absolutely.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, no. What was like the seed of an idea to even begin writing this? Because a lot of times folks have ideas, but like, I wish this was on TV, or I wish I saw this. But what made you say, oh, I have an idea, and then, oh, I have the skill set to write this egg, and then gather the group of folks that you've gathered around you to execute it?
Yeah, so this actually, the inception of it was in 2018. I was on the train, and an idea came to me of just 2 queer people in the projects, and I don't know if I should stop because this siren
That's
right
part
now.
of the show.
It happens to Dewan all the time.
Right. Dewan's up in Harlem. We be here at the Dominicans every episode.
I'm such an actor, so it's like the sound, they would just cut me already. And so I'm like, okay.
That's it just become part of the show at this point.
But yeah, we'll move
serendipitous that you
They
have
went
the
away.
sirens going on. We're talking about, life in New York. So
So in 2018, I was on the train, and this idea just came to me about two queer people in the projects. And one of them is this out kid who I play, and the other, I mean, I wrote it from an acting perspective. I was acting at that time. I wasn't that excited about the roles that I was getting, and I felt like there wasn't really roles that truly represented all of me and my intersectionalities. Like physically, I saw myself reflected in media. But being a queer person, being an Afro-Latino person, I didn't really see those intersectionalities represented. And then also coming from public housing, I feel like every time I saw public housing, it was represented in a very stereotypical and negative way. And I am a product of that. And I know so many people who are successful, who are hard workers, who are ambitious. And I felt like it was my duty as a storyteller to really convey that. But this really started with a scene where the character of Izzy walks into the building after a night out, and he sees the character who is Ricky. And Izzy has always been attracted to Ricky for as long as he can remember, but that's his cousin's best friend. He doesn't think he's queer. And so they get into the elevator, and it's just like this awkward kind of moment, but there's some tension there. And then when Izzy is leaving, Ricky says something, and it just kind of piques like a little bit of interest in Izzy. Like, wait, what is going on? That was not
He's like, he kind of want these cookies.
Right. And so I just had that scene, and I didn't know what to do with it, but I was like, I really love this because it is two queer people in the projects, two Black and brown people in the projects, and I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen queerness really represented in public housing. I hadn't seen a positive representation of public housing. And so it kind of just fell by the wayside because I wasn't sure what to do with it. But in 2020, during the pandemic, I found this pilot competition, and I said, well, I have this scene that I remember writing. Why don't I expand on it? I wasn't doing much, and my coping mechanism is being productive. And so I'm like, I need to do something. And so I decided to write a pilot, and I didn't get into the pilot competition, but I got feedback, and the feedback was really positive. I remember the comment being like, this world is so colorful, keep expanding upon it. And I was like, oh, I love this so much. And that lit a fire in me to actually continue to build on this. And it went through multiple iterations to end up what it is now, a web series. It was a pilot, a 45-minute pilot, then it was a 28-minute pilot, then it was something else. And we landed on a web series because it was short form content. We'd be able to tell kind of a whole first season, ideally, on our own, and be able to represent ourselves as writers a bit more versus just one pilot. And yeah, that's kind of how it's turned into what it is now. We released the first 2 episodes, but we're currently, fundraising to produce the remaining 5 episodes.
Ooh,
Let me tell you,
put that information out there.
We need to get y'all that coin because the way I have been looking all over the internet, okay, because the way Izzy had been irking my nerves, I was like, I need to know if this man becomes likable because, baby, yeah, Ronald, you fine, but your character, let me tell you, I was like, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, Izzy's alive.
I love that though. I didn't he's not supposed to be likable, and that's the best thing. So I'm glad that you dislike him, but hopefully you're rooting for him.
I am rooting for him, but I'm like, damn,
do better.
Let me stop because the second episode, I was like, you did Kai so bogus. Like you just met this man. Oh no. Let me tell you. So I'm sorry, but
things
yeah,
happen.
I loved it.
We've all been in them situations where you might be with your friends, and then you find someone you might be a little interested with, and you kind of ditch your friends. Be like, damn, I done ditched my friends. Well, hold
but not
on,
on your best friend dead mama birthday.
Oh, it's horrible.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a lie. That ain't never did that.
I'm actually fighting my friend on my dead mama's birthday on that point.
Listen,
Oh my
listen. He was intending to, but then this guy got drunk. Are you gonna leave a drunk person? Like, what? What would you be doing?
And Wood.
There's a reason why she's called Auntie Hennessy.
That part. Like, sorry for you. Yeah. There's a lot of questions
I
about
see.
that.
It's complex. It's complex, but hopefully
It's a
that adds
complicated
to the
order.
layers in the series.
I hope
So
so.
how did?
Can you talk
Oh,
a
go ahead,
little bit
Duan.
about? Yeah, sorry. Can you talk a little bit about how you two came together?
That was gonna be my
got
question, too.
so you've got the script. Now it's how do I activate this? How do I build a team around this? Who do I collaborate with? I mean, we can't do it all. So I'm curious. How did you two? Did you have a existing relationship, friendship beforehand, or working relationship? How did you all come together?
I'll let Darnell speak on that. Oh, is he frozen?
Alma,
He might be.
check your battery.
He might be frozen.
I was like, you look so focused, but
Why don't you take this one, Ron, until Darnell comes
yeah.
back?
So, Darnell and I had actually been friends before. Maybe about probably like 3 years or so. I met Darnell when I was about like 20, and I think he was like 17 or 18. And we connected on Instagram, so we followed each other. I forgot who followed who, but I remember exploring his Instagram, and he was producing his short film Two Strikes. And I was like, oh my God, who is this kid? He's so young and he's already producing a film. Like at that point, I was in acting school. And so maybe I was like, I was like 19. So I was in acting school, and I hadn't even produced anything. And so I was like, this kid is really cool. Like, I want to get to know him. And so I asked him to grab coffee. We grabbed coffee. We hit it off. He's from New York. He's from the Bronx. Like, I feel like when I was in school too, I went to school in the city, but I started meeting less and less native New Yorkers. And so when I meet them, like, that's my family. And so we grabbed coffee, we hit it off, and from there we just would catch up with each other every so often, like talk about what's going on, talk about our auditions that we have been going on, headshots, the acting classes we were taking. And so it was just like a really beautiful and organic connection and friendship. And then we started talking about, learning more about each other on a more personal level. And from there, I remember I wrote Natives, the pilot, and I was really excited about it. I had gotten that feedback, and I was like, it's time to share this with somebody. But I'm not sure, like, I want to share with somebody who relates to it and who I trust. And so I sent it to Darnell, and Darnell was actually on the PATH train at that time. Darnell, you want to take it from here?
Yeah.
I sent it to you. You were on the train.
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday. I literally was just, because I was living in Jersey at the time, and that was like a different era for me. And it's just similar to kind of what Ronald said earlier. Like, I was signed to an agency, and I was getting like just really just auditions that I didn't feel connected to. I feel like I didn't, and it was questioning my place in the industry, if I even wanted to be an actor anymore. Like, it was a very tough, weird time for me as an artist. So when Ronald was like, hey, I have this project called Natives, I'm like, okay, let me read it. And I read it on the train, and I feel like this immediately, like by the time I got off the train, and the PATH train was like 5 stops. So by the time I got off the train, I was like, oh my God, like, what do you need to do to get this done? Like, we have to do this. Like, it wasn't a matter of like when, or it was just like, what do you need? And I feel like it was just different. I feel like it was just one of those moments where you can't really describe why you felt so connected to the script, but it just made sense. It made sense. It was exactly what I wanted. It was exactly what I was craving as an artist, as a black gay male in New York, is what I was craving as a consumer. It just hit off all the check boxes. And immediately I was
that
like,
representation of it.
Yeah, and I was like, let's just do it. I think that was just my main thing, and we did it, and now we're here. The rest is history.
I love that.
And I think it's similar to what you were saying, Jarrell, like earlier. It's our story. Like, it is mine and Darnell's story, specifically being from New York. But the goal really was for, this is a universal story. So, well, at first, this is for my New Yorkers, my queer New Yorkers especially, and New Yorkers who grew up in the projects. But outside of that, I think that it is a universal story where even if you aren't from this specific situation, you can relate to the emotions of the characters and what is happening. And even though you're not from New York, like, you grew up in a somewhat similar situation. And so you can relate to that. And that also allows you to kind of take a peek into what growing up in New York might have been like. And what I love about storytelling, it's its ability to really allow people to kind of shift and transform the way they perceive people and cultures. And that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to shift the narrative that was placed on public housing and show that people can be joyous, people can be successful, people can be determined in these spaces. And it's not always stories about abuse or drug usage or, there's lack of in this, but we still find the joy in it.
Yeah, but it's kind of like what Carell mentioned earlier, though. Like, y'all's ability to tell the story translates so well to the whole point of you saying, like, we are different, but we still have some shared experiences, right? And this happens to be that type of a shared experience. And it didn't matter that I'm not from New York, but I think you have to be a good storyteller for that to translate. Yeah. And I just say kudos to y'all because it did.
It was executed.
Thank you.
I want to pile on the flowers because I think one of the things that really attracted me and really impressed me about the whole production. Number one, there's just incredibly high production value. And that comment about making it not seem like a traditional web series, it really rings true. But I also think that there is an earnestness with how the storytelling is scripted and how the actors are portraying these characters. And you feel a real sense of authenticity in the way that it was approached that you don't often see with projects that tell some of our stories. Oftentimes it's our stories are baked in camp and unseriousness or trauma. And it's not to say that there aren't elements of those in there, but that's not what it's based in. And so I just have to commend you for really telling truthful stories from a place of honesty and a place of authenticity and a place from love. And you can really feel that coming through when you're watching the series. And I think that's one of the reasons why, at least for me, why I really related to and really enjoyed the watching. It's just, it felt real. It didn't feel like, oh, it's transporting you to this fictitious place where there are these fictitious people telling these fictitious stories that just happen to be rooted in Blackness and queerness or the Bronx or whatever. These are people telling stories and you're experiencing that and identifying with it. And I think that's really amazing. So kudos to you and the entire team for pulling this off, because I know that that's not easy to achieve.
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I feel like that's just because I feel like the writer's room, we spent so much time on these characters. And with shout out to our writers, Tay, and our writer's assistant, V, I feel like we really spent so much time on these characters to make them so rich and relatable. And I feel like sometimes in the writer's room, we would just tell stories about what we've been through in the writer's room. So yeah, I feel like, thank you first for just saying that, because I feel like we spent a lot of work on to make these characters real. So it's just so amazing to hear that it finally, like, it transcends on camera. And plus the actors, the actors are phenomenal.
Whose story? I got two of them. Whose story was laying in their mama's lap on the apps so your mama could see the screen? And then whose story was throwing up in the hallway?
I think that was a common all our stories. Listen, we're in New
Oh my
York,
gosh.
and
Right.
I was like, damn, his mama can see all the dick pics and everything on that app.
She was watching that.
She got her glasses on. She's good. No, but I feel like, honestly, being on the apps is just so so authentic to like gay culture. And sometimes you honestly don't have no shame about it. Maybe if she saw, but she don't know what it is, you know. So for the most part, it's kind of like you tuck it down a little bit, you know,
right?
Going a little direction. So you got the privacy screen, so in case nobody has to be.
That scene cracked me up. I was like, "Damn, he's laying all in his mama's lap with that dick pic going on." Okay, go ahead, Izzy.
Izzy has me.
Yeah, but then the throwing up, that is something, again, through stories that I feel like we've all told each other. Honestly, I am I wouldn't say a sloppy drunk, but I do get sick often. And so that is
like how you did
I don't
that.
know that life at all.
I try and keep it cute, you know, very classy, cute, but
But he said, but sometimes that stomach be acting up.
You know, it's real. And so that scene specifically, it's really funny because I remember the order was switched. So when we originally wrote the script, it ended on them embracing, and the throwing up was actually before that. However, I think it was our writer Tay that kind of pitched switching it so that it ends on Adrian throwing up, because we were kind of like, we were aiming to try and have everything end at some sort of cliffhanger, or if it's not a direct cliffhanger, how would we be able to bring people back still? And so we were I was torn because I wrote the second episode. We had, in the writer's room, kind of outlined things together, but each writer would then take the episodes and then write them on their own. And so I was writing the second one. I was like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this ending. And Tay was like, well, we should switch this and see how that works. And when we did, I was like, oh, this is funny. I like this. And yeah, it stuck. And so, and we weren't even thinking about it at that time. We wrote all 7 episodes. So we didn't know that it was just going to end on episode 2, because that's all the resources we had to produce it. But it ended up working out because I got a lot of people who actually said, I love the way that this ended. And it still makes me want to come back because it's just so messy. And that is the product of collaboration, and that's the beauty of collaboration. And I'm so grateful for each of them for bringing that creativity and input into this.
Baby, because the way that Izzy walked up into Kai's apartment and closed that door, I said,
baby. I was like, that Negro still in the hallway?
Man in the hallway?
No, didn't you just say that you were going to leave him?
Let me tell you. But you'd already got to the door, so, I mean, how you going to leave this man outside? Or commit or be done. Or be done.
At that moment, Izzy was tired. He was like, you know, I was not even expecting to be here. You made me late to this. You done put me through so much. You can stay out here for a minute while I talk to my friends.
I know that's right.
And Darnell, then he's forgetting that he's actually out there.
He was still out there sick as a dog. Darnell, like, I'm assuming Ronald, Izzy might be a similar character. I'm kind of gathering from the conversations to yourself naturally. But Darnell, who are you maybe most like out of the
Ron already knows. Ron already knows. I think when we were when I first got, I think, in the writer's room, or when I first read it, I was reading Adrian's character. I'm like, is this about me? I'm like, wait, because I feel like it was just so connected.
A little.
I feel like I'm just like, I feel like I would definitely relate to Adrian the most. Just a young, carefree, 20-year-old living life. And I feel like in episode 3 and episode 4, like, there's so much more of Adrian that you guys see. And it's definitely like, I relate to it 100%. Like, his backstory, his mom relationship, it's a lot. We tackle a lot of issues in the whole season. But yeah, definitely Adrian. I feel like he's just a key. He's a key.
I'm here for it. How, so, like, obviously is the first couple episodes, and you mentioned, hey, just resources. How, for those that are listening, what's the easiest way to be like, hey, I know somebody, or I have some money to donate and all that stuff? Like, what A, resources do you need? And then B, how can they provide those resources?
Yeah, well, right around we have the website. You could go and tell them about the website.
you can go to nativestheseries.com, scroll down a few, like maybe it's like towards the middle, and you can donate directly on our site. And so that will go directly to the project. Also, I mean, if you have, some big bucks, you can also email us at nativesnycprod, nativesnycprod@gmail.com. And we can definitely, chat more about what that looks like, any incentives that we can bring. We're looking for executive producers. So if you want to executive produce, this web series, that is an opportunity. I would say it's a lot of financial resources, things like locations. We have to cast for the rest of the episodes. So those things, but for the most part, it is kind of financial resources right now to really get the ball rolling. We did this on a very, I would say, a shoestring budget, using that term lightly, because it wasn't, the smallest budget, but it also is not the budget that, a studio has. So very independent. I'm so grateful for all of the team and our cast who worked with us on rates that, aren't necessarily like market rates, but they believed in the project. They had a passion for the project, and they understood that we had limited resources, and also understood that we were being ambitious. We didn't have to shoot both of these episodes. Had we shot one, we would have had more resources to allocate across the board. But I was really passionate about shooting 2 episodes because I felt like 2 episodes really gave you and the audience a taste into the world. And each episode is focused on a different character. So that way you really get to understand each character. And we did that intentionally as well, because it's a web series. The rest of the episodes are about 15 minutes or so. And so it's an ensemble series too. There's so many characters in this. So how do you get to know and understand and find each character useful in the world in such a short amount of time? And we thought it's the best way to do is have each episode focus on every specific character, but there's this through line throughout the entire series. And I think we did that really well. And I'm really excited for the other episodes for you to all be introduced even more to the characters that you've just met, but at a deeper and more intimate capacity.
I agree. We gotta get these coins out here because I'm ready. I was mad. I was like, hold on. I was like, Terrell. I was like, wait, where?
Listen, you're not the only one. We get comments all the time. Where's eepisode 3? And we're like, we're working on it. We promise.
All I heard was deeper and more intimacy. Okay.
There's some of that too.
Like, you got me at deeper and more intimacy.
But that'll come later. We can't give it all to you guys at once. It's not the story, and it's not the story.
The character development before the bedroom development. That's what I'm hearing.
I know that's right. That's right.
Great.
And another thing that I genuinely enjoy too, because like on our podcast, we love showing the spectrum of our community, that we're not a monolith, that we're not just one thing, we're not, and the characters spectrum was a very good representation of the spectrum of our community as well. So keep it up. Like you got at least the 3 of us hooked, and that take a lot there for all 3 of us to agree that we're hooked on something.
No, I appreciate that genuinely. Like this has been so fun, and your words have been so meaningful. So thank you.
Absolutely. And Dewan and Darnell, I feel like we met you at, were you at Culture Con?
I was at Culture Con, but I don't think
like we might. Did we not? Because we met Dewan.
Yeah, Dewan was there. I was with Maui, who played jazz in Native.
Okay. Maybe we didn't meet you. Okay.
Yeah, I would have remembered.
Okay.
You probably crossed paths.
Right.
Maybe.
I would have remembered. I was there. I was in the spot.
I don't think we met. Maybe Corral, maybe you met.
Yeah, I would have remembered. I don't think I met him.
Dewan was ordering wigs anyway, so
Right. Our Dewan. Right.
Our Dewan was ordering wigs.
Right. Yeah, because it was that Sunday with me and Shayna from Bad Queers.
Yeah, they were there as well. Yeah, but we didn't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, good to see you.
Right.
There's always this year.
Yes,
exactly.
we all have to connect soon.
Absolutely,
1000%. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, community, this
at the premiere of episodes 3 through 7.
There's gonna be a party.
I'll be there.
Period.
You send the invite. I'll be there for sure.
That part is showing up because I'm ready to see these next episodes. I'm like, damn, you done got me hooked, and I gotta wait.
It's so good.
I would love to know. I mean, this may be putting you on the spot, but like, did you have a favorite moment, in the episodes? I love to ask people this because, we've sat with this for so long that it's just like so ingrained. So it's like really interesting to hear other people's thoughts and like their what they took away from specific moments. Because once you release something, people have theories or they relate things to things you didn't even think about, and that has been so cool to see. And so I love asking this question to people.
I think
my favorite moment
was when Kai was ignoring Izzy in the deli,
the entrance,
and
that was a entrance.
And that was my favorite moment because I've been Kai in that situation when a friend did you wrong and boop, don't exist.
Oh my God.
And instantly, and honestly, in that moment, I was like, I think that was the exact moment where I was like, okay, I'm not messing with Izzy at this point.
That got you in your feelings.
Honestly, because I've been on that side when I was like, if I'm ignoring this person, I mean, they fucked up. So I knew that at that point, Izzy already did something. Yeah, that would be my favorite part.
Yeah.
I gotta think. Like, it's funny. Like, I don't know if my favorite part, but I did write down 2 questions and be like, A, how do you handle confrontation? And then how do you hold your friends accountable? And so those are kind of like the themes that kind of came into my head. Just like, okay, luckily, I don't think I've been in that deep of a situation where like my friend ain't come and check on me when my mama dead and all that. But just like, if I was in that situation, like, how would I handle this? Like, how, because I'm not naturally one for confrontation. I'm not naturally one for the hold on to a lot of things. But I think that would hurt my feelings. But I think I would at least give my friend the benefit of the doubt, like I did, to be like, all right, let me hear you out. Let me see what's going on. I would hope you had a legit reason. And okay, I see old dude throwing up in the hallway. So okay, the story must be it must be calculated, But then again, like another flip side is just like sometimes you just know how your friends are. So my assumption with Kai is like they know how Izzy is. And then so part of it's almost upset with yourself, like, damn, I know how this person is, and I don't let myself fall trapped to this person again, which I feel like Kai was kind of feeling in that moment. So I think I would kind of be like, damn, I done did it to myself. So I can't be too mad at this person because this person don't show me time and time again who they are.
Right.
But then I just thought it was the phone scene on your mama's lap too. That was my because I was like, damn, he just all on these apps in his mama's lap.
Shout out to our partners at Jack.
Right.
Hey, Jack, for sure.
Yeah, I think I was more drawn to like the real life scenarios. I mean, obviously the drama that happens between the characters is, why you watch. But I think the things that really stuck out to me, and again, if I go back to what I was sharing with you all earlier about just the earnestness about and the honesty with the writing and the storytelling. If I go back to, I think maybe it was the beginning of episode 2. And one thing you'll know about me is names and me don't get along. So I forget what the character's name, but it's the beginning of the episode. We're in their apartment. They're boiling
Kai.
Boiling the milk.
Boiling the milk and just getting ready. And just those scenes of seeing this person, in a sense, put their armor on for the day and what was getting ready to happen was just so poignant. And then also transition scenes between, somebody taking the subway or whatever the case may be. Those moments that depict what real life is like behind the drama, the scenes and the interactions, for me were the ones that really stood out.
And I got one more favorite. So it's also episode 1. And it is the one where where he finds out the cousin's friend is like down low and they're in the room. Walking into that room threw me back because I didn't been in that situation. And when I tell you, I looked at his whole outfit. I was like, does this nigga got on slides too? Literally, I was looking to see if he had on the long socks and the slides too. Because the way I was sitting, I was like, I think I've been in the exact same room. Like,
right.
real talk. I was like,
Mine was like when he opened the door, I was like, oh, I forgot about scenarios like that where you don't like know which door it is. And you're like, hold on. Oh, that's when I like literally flashback, like, oh damn, I ain't felt. Cause I'm just an old Mary broad at this point. So I'm like, damn, I forgot about them feelings. Like, okay, where I turn, I'm coming up that elevator. Like, do I go left? Do I go right? I don't know where the fuck I'm
Right.
at.
But
Are they even showing up? Like,
Right.
Catfish,
I
who
would
knows?
I would actually like to flip the script.
That-
Like, from your perspective, what was either your favorite scene to produce and or
Yeah.
be in?
This is a good question because I have so many. I think it was just all such a labor of love, but I think that one of my favorite scenes is definitely the bedroom scene when they are together, just because that was also, I think, one of the hardest scenes to lock down in post. We spent so much time on that because the editing needed to be right. Like, it needed to feel like this awkward tension, and like, what do we say next? Like, what is gonna happen? Is something gonna happen? Are we just gonna smoke? Are more gonna happen? Like, what is the vibes here? And we needed to translate all of that through, like, visually, because nothing is said in the first like 2 minutes of that scene, but so much is said
much
in the
is
first
said.
2 minutes of that scene.
mhm.
And so that was one of my favorites, just because, and that was the first day that we all had met Christian, who plays Ricky too. He had
Oh,
just
wow.
been cast like a week
Oh.
before, because we had to do a recast. And it was just a beautifully like intimate experience. I think Brittany really took care of us. I think that it played out in the ways that I really envisioned when I was writing it. And just being in it felt like what I wanted it to portray. That awkwardness, the tension there, and luckily Christian and I hadn't known each other at that time, so it's just naturally there too.
Yeah.
All of that was really beautiful. And I'm just really proud of how that scene came out, because that was one of the scenes that was like, it's integral to that episode. And then I think my other favorite scene is the last scene of episode 1, where Izzy comes back and he rubs his grandmother's legs, because that, and honestly, because of time, that scene was almost not gonna happen. And I had to really like fight for that scene to happen, because to me, that was really important, because it shows that ultimately too marks a little bit of a shift in Izzy, from that like really closed off, I don't even want to be here, I don't want to even see none of you guys, I don't associate with you, I'm too good for you, and to being back in this space and kind of going back to the routines that he had done, and showing the humanity in him as well, and how he does love these people, but he has a really conflicting relationship with them. And so that to me was just, that's one of my favorite scenes, because the character of the grandmother is inspired by my grandmother, who passed away recently, and she was such a beautiful person to me, like my parents, everything. And so she would have me rub her feet all the time, and I hated it. It would be with this green Gold Bond lotion that stayed on my hands forever.
You can smell it now. Yeah.
Yes, the mentholy kind of smell.
Yeah.
But those moments were really sweet, and I wish I could go back to those moments. Back when I was a kid, and I was like, ugh, to rub your feet again. Like, I wish I could do those things again. And so that moment was really special, because you're able to see the intimacy between them, the love that's there between them. And also it kind of foreshadows some things that you'll see later on as well. Darnell,
what's your favorite?
I kind of agree with you with the Ricky and Izzy scene. I feel like Brittany and the whole team just did an amazing job just lighting it. It was a closed set. Like, they was not playing on set. Like, Brittany was like, it's the closed set, I need everybody out. Like, this is serious. I feel like it was just so, the scene was just so taken care of. And so it was just so gentle, the approach to it. I feel like everybody was just on point. So I feel like maybe that is one of ones that I had like the most fun producing, and it was most fun to see it being produced on set and to see the outcome as well. Stuff like that was a really good one. Another one that I'm really looking forward to do is actually in episode 3. There's a scene where Kai has like a tea party scene, and I'm already doing like the mood board to that. I'm already thinking of the outfits. I'm already thinking of the makeup for Kai and Jazz. I'm already thinking of like the hairstyles. I sent Ronald some hairstyles already on Pinterest. So I feel like that scene is gonna eat down. Like that scene is gonna be so good. And I'm just so excited to do that one. I feel like it's a party scene. The set design will be phenomenal. Like just everything about it, I think I'm gonna have a really good time producing it. And get creative and, you know, have fun. And I think this is all, you know, this is what this is all about, having fun, being creative, and, you know, doing different things, and just, you know, trying different things, and just making a good show. So I'm really excited about that scene because it's going to eat.
Love it. Is there a lesson that you've learned from doing the first 2 that you're already like, okay, this is going to make it more efficient or easier or whatever it may be for the last whatever 5 or 6 or whatever that you're going to do in the future?
Yeah, like a lesson in general, like just as a like working as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my main lesson is collaboration is key. You don't know it all. For me, I feel like listen, talk less, hear people out. I think that's a big lesson that I learned, because some people will suggest something and I'll be like, what? And then I see it and I'm like, oh, wait, like that's actually, you know, so always hear people out, always collaborate, always be open to collaboration. I think that's a big lesson I learned, because it's just everybody can always add something. Everybody on the set, from a PA, from a DP, from anybody. Nobody is bigger than anybody. So I feel like you can learn everything from anybody on set, and just collaborate and make a good show.
Yeah, I think for me, it's really just time. Like, I think I would give us even more time, you know, before pre-production, through production. But it's hard, especially in indie series, because time really is money when you are shooting something. But I would love for us to have more time, especially in like a pre-production phase, because it saves us from a lot of things when it comes to production. Like, for example, we missed a few shots on our first day of shooting, so we had to add on a day of shooting. Adding on a day of shooting took all of our post-production budget, so we did not have any money to post-produce. So we had this shot from September 2023 or October 2023, and we didn't start post-production until June 2024 because we had to get the funds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And had we had the funds, we could have went straight to post-production, but because of that, we had to wait, and there was a big gap, and it was like, oh my gosh, it goes back to the starts and stops that we experienced throughout the entire 4 years of producing this, because we started working on this in 2020. So it really has been time, but everything happens as it should. But I would love to give us some more time just to have fun with it, to be more efficient in our planning, and to save room for any errors.
Well, again, before we get into the next parts of the episode here, remind them where to find you, where to watch this, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so Natives, right now you can watch it on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, type in Natives the Series. Otherwise, you can go to nativestheseries.com. Also, follow us on all social channels, Natives the Series. Except Twitter, it's going to be natives_series, because there wasn't enough characters.
I get it. I get it. Well, community, you know, it was a big week last week. We had, some Cowboy Carter tickets to try to get. We had Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. So, before we get to Kendrick, Jarrell, did you get the tickets you wanted, boo?
See, I thought we had already, we were gonna move on. I didn't think
that
You're gonna keep bringing it up.
It's before the episode, so we gotta fill the community in on the trials and tribulations it was to get these damn tickets.
I didn't think it was a circle back moment, okay? But okay, so let me first start by saying I got some tickets, okay?
Yes.
And I'm blessed to be in the position that I am in now. Okay. All right. But I'm about to have me a bougie petty little moment here. I didn't get the tickets I wanted. Okay. I got tickets. Okay. I spent way much more than I needed to for these tickets. Okay.
That's a word.
Like, meaning I was pulling from other trips and other things to make sure that I got these tickets. Okay.
Wow.
So that's why I'm in my feelings. Okay.
And she just bought a house, so
And I just bought a house.
Just bought a
Right.
house.
So it's tight on it. It's real tight on it. So I got tickets for New Jersey and I got some tickets in Chicago. And
you going? Okay, you did get the two.
So you got 2 places.
Daddy Wobox over here.
Right.
Again, when I told y'all I was moving money, I was shifting money around. One of them sets of tickets don't get sold. I'm gonna resell one of them sets of tickets. I ain't seeing it twice with this funding.
Hopefully not the house.
Not the house. Yeah. No. But I just wanted to be in Hold Down, and I'm mad just because of the fact that like I saw it in Paris and it was $300 to be in Club Renaissance.
Yep.
And
Crazy.
I literally spent, I think the tickets for New Jersey and the Bucking Pit was $3,700 for 2 tickets. Two
Tickets were
tickets.
insanity.
They were ridiculous. And then I cried because I got into the Chicago queue and I was like number 2,000 in line once it went live. I literally had 2 like Hold Down tickets. Now these were $800 a piece. So still almost 3 times as much what I paid for 1 ticket in Paris. Okay. And I went to go check out and they booted me out.
Yeah.
They booted me out the queue and I had to go get back in line. And when I got back in line, I was now 25,000 in line.
Oh, they playing this here.
Oh my God.
It was insanity today.
Yeah.
It was
So-
insanity.
And
So
this
I
is
ended up getting
pre-sale.
some tickets.
Yeah, this is pre-sale.
This is pre-sale.
This is the Beehive pre-sale.
Oh my god! I
Yeah.
don't, the bars are crazy. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting some tickets in Chicago, level 100, which I like that more because you can see all of the stage. Whereas the Bucking one, you just see the runway. And then so I won't really get to see as much of her when she's doing all this stuff towards the middle section because that's where she did a lot of stuff for Renaissance, right? I'm thinking about how she did Renaissance stage. She only went around that bitch once.
It's not gonna be the same. She don't do the same thing twice. So
Right.
No.
So I'm expecting, because she loves to walk, Bucking would be good because I know she's gonna give us a couple walks, right? But then for the most part, I'm gonna be looking at the back of her because she'll probably be more in the middle part. So
There's always the Jumbotron.
and that's why I was like, you know what? I'm probably just gonna go and see her in Chicago with those level 100 seats, and at least I see her in the jumbotron. So, yeah.
Luckily,
Bro,
like I didn't have to
did
do
you get-
all that as much.
You got tickets?
I got tickets, yeah. So ended up doing it in DC because of obstacles. So we call obstacles our significant others when you can't always do exactly what you want to do because you got to at least consider another human being. So my husband so she's in New Jersey Memorial Weekend, which would have been ideal. Like, oh yeah, Memorial Weekend. Oh, okay, New York all day because I live in Philly. But Corey has to work all weekend, and he's like, I can't take that weekend off. I'm like, okay. So we're looking, okay, maybe go down to DC. And so it's around his birthday, and normally we go somewhere for his birthday. And so we're gonna just kind of put that all into his birthday trip and all that stuff. So it worked out. It's fine. But I'm upset because the New Jersey dates are in May, Memorial Weekend. And the DC date ain't until July 7th. So I got to duck and weave the internet again like I did Renaissance. Try not to see the whole damn tour because everybody be spoiling everything. And we can't talk about it here on the podcast because I don't want to hear from Jarrell.
And you will.
So I'm a little irritated, but luckily I was like, thank you, Lord. I was able to find some coin to be able to go. And these tickets are insanity because Ticketmaster and their dynamic pricing is insane.
Yeah.
They knew it was going to be like a high demand for this, so it boosts all the ticket sales up. It's wild. It's wild. So Ticketmaster, y'all ain't about shit. Y'all ain't about
Really
shit.
But also,
anyway.
I feel like I've read how other, countries, they have laws against being able to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, we live in this violent capitalist society. So
That was one of the cool things about Paris is that like they have one of that where if you resell it, you only can resell it for the value of the ticket. You can't mark it up. You can't mark it up. So whatever you paid in Paris is with the price you're going to resell it for.
And then also they restrict the total number of tickets that you can actually buy so that they don't have people that are buying like hundreds, dozens of tickets and then marking those up, and it just creates havoc. So it makes it.
And I will say this go around, at least they tried to do something to control it as best they could. Because like the pre-sale code, you can only buy 4 and you can only buy it for 3 shows and things like that. So they tried to control the best they can within the parameters of this insanity of Ticketmaster in this country. So I will give them that. But the demand for Beyonce is so high, it just artificially drives up these prices, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Also,
I'm gonna be there. I paid it.
Also, as it stands right now,
I'm upset about the price.
As it stands right now, there's only a certain number of cities and a certain number of shows. So this is not the full gamut of this is a tour that's going to last 8 months, 15 months. This is you're either going or you're not.
It's actually really smart, but I have a feeling that if you don't get tickets during right now, that resale is going to be stupid high all the way up until day of the concert, and day of them ticket prices are going to go down because it's the way the prices currently are. Can't nobody afford to be in a stadium. Can't nobody afford to be in a stadium. That's why I started off by saying I'm blessed to be in a position to be able to have these 4 tickets. But that's $6,000 for 4 tickets. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
It is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you're gonna live. You're gonna live. You're gonna get your
We're gonna be in Daisy Dukes. We're gonna be shaking that ass.
Exactly.
But baby, I need to be shaking my ass on a pole after to get some pole.
Right. Wait. So Dewan, did you get tickets?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna go in the U.S. just because I'd rather go somewhere else and get like a whole experience out of it than just if I'm going to spend $2,000 on a ticket, then I'm going to spend $2,000. I'm going to fly to Paris. I've got my Airbnb or my nice hotel. I'm going to have my ticket. It's going to be a whole thing. I'm not paying $2,000 to go over to Jersey. Sorry.
I feel that.
Not happen. I'd rather hop on a flight, get upgraded with Delta One. Like I'd rather have the experience or not go. So, and I even said this on the podcast many, many moons ago. I'm really not. This is a little bit too early for me to be going back to another Beyonce concert, to be honest. So yeah, I wasn't that pressed today.
Same.
Well, everybody else was.
But anyway, so community, let us know where you're gonna go see Beyonce. If you see us in your city, say hey. If you see us out there, say hey. If we out there shaking ass, say hey, shake ass with us. But then also we saw Mr. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Petty Lamar, doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl. What were you all's thoughts on that? Darnell, maybe we start with you. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Well, I fell asleep during the Super Bowl, so I saw the replay on Twitter. But I actually wanted to stay because of SZA. SZA's my girl. Like, no shade. Yeah. I love SZA. So. But Kendrick did his big one. I feel like the symbolism was there. I love the Uncle Sam. I love the symbolism was phenomenal. I feel like I love Paris Global. The choreographer, Sean Bankhead and Paris Global is my favorite choreographers. Like
them too.
Them damn every episode too.
They don't miss. Like it's just so good. So yeah, I think the Super Bowl performance was 10 out of 10. SZA, Paris Global. Like, what can you not like about it?
Her mic was on.
Okay.
Her mic was on. I was like, SZA, you sounded good.
Yo, she was dancing, her little 1-2 step. Like, I love SZA. I love her down.
I was like, okay.
So yeah, she ate.
What you thought, Ronald?
I saw the performance. I didn't see it live. I saw it afterward, and I agree. I love the symbolism. I think that the performance, though, honestly, I am just so much more of a fan of female performers. I just think that they give so much more energy, and I think the bar for male performers is really low personally. And this is no shade to Kendrick. I appreciate and admire the things that he does, and the performance itself, but I just think that females have to do so much, women have to do so much more, and they really put on like a show themselves, and the energy is like at a level 10 too for the, I mean, if it's the Super Bowl. And yeah, I think that I appreciate the performance for what it was. But I also will say that I was talking with a friend and I was like, I don't think that the hype around this performance was as big as a female performer either. Like when we had Rihanna, everyone was talking about that for months. And I feel like when we got to the performance, everyone on Twitter too. And I don't feel like it was like the same hype either. And I wonder if that is that thing of, female performers or not. But I think Kendrick Lamar is so talented. I respect him so much. That's my thoughts. Maybe a hot take, but
I don't think it's a hot take because I know a lot of people who feel very similar. I think it just goes to show the difference between mainstream music and music, right? Like if you listen to mainstream music, you're obviously going to know more Rihanna music. You're going to know certain artists more because you can't throw a penny without hearing one of them songs, right? I think artists like Kendrick, who is known for rap, right? And in hip hop, if you aren't specifically listening for rap and hip hop, though, you're not hearing him because besides like They Not Like Us, you haven't been really hearing a lot of Kendrick music everywhere else unless that's a genre that you listen to, right? So I think for me, one of the things that I think is the disconnect. I don't think, and I said this before when he was first announced, I literally said I don't think he was the right choice for the Super Bowl halftime show when it comes to the entire audience and who listened to what, right? And I just think about mainstream and what's going to land with more people. What I do respect is that, especially in today's time, and it also being Black History Month, that they put one of the black person who's going to give you a lesson through music and who's going to challenge you. Because if you think about it, if a bitch can listen to Hamilton, you can listen to Kendrick Lamar.
If you can listen to RFK Jr. and understand that bullshit, you can understand Kendrick Lamar.
Right. So it's really all just a choice. It's really just all a choice at the end of the day. So I think he did a good job, honestly.
I love the fact that his performance was it was a couple of big FUs. It was, obviously a big FU to Drake. Drake.
He said, hold on, he said, say Drake.
right.
But then also
turn their head straight to the camera.
But then also was a big FU to, like all the political stuff that's going on, the rolling back of DEI policies. And it's like, here you have the largest stage with the most captivated and segregated audiences in the United States, Super Bowl Sunday. And you had someone staring you in the face, giving you something saying, like, they not like us. Y'all not like us. Y'all want to be us, but you not like us, and you mad. And now, you're talking about, well, there weren't any white people in this. Well, yeah, y'all roll back diversity, so can we. So what's good for
I saw white people everywhere. You see the crowd? They were everywhere.
I'm talking about what the other side, that one that don't understand what they were seeing are saying. And so if we can sit through a Super Bowl Sunday with Led Zeppelin, you can sit through a Super Bowl Sunday with Kendrick Lamar and eat that shit. And I was here for
that part. Yeah, 1000%. Like, here's the thing. Kendrick didn't have to do that. He didn't have to take the biggest moment of his career to do that. And that's, by the way, what I don't think a lot of people
to be a part of it. It's not like they're selected or chosen or given the opportunity. Artists have to pay to be in the Super Bowl. That has been in existence for such a long time.
That's a gag, right?
So it's not like oh, there's this committee out here that's just picking and choosing and say, oh, this year I think it would be great to have so and so. No, artists pay to participate, and they pay for the entire production.
Wow.
And so to take that moment, and it's literally the most watched halftime show ever, 133 million people.
Wow.
He could have went out there and pull up, drank. He could have done all them other songs, but he crafted a message to say, like you said, to him, fuck you, fuck your white mama, fuck you Donald Trump up there, fuck all y'all hoes, and fuck you Drake.
And had Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam.
That took
He didn't have to do that. So that's a narrative I haven't heard a lot of people say at all. I'm like, he did not have to. He could have just said, he could have played They Not Like Us for 13 minutes and we would have ate it up the whole 13 minutes.
And I don't know if y'all know this or might remember this or have heard it before, but Samuel L. Jackson, outside of just being a phenomenal actor, went to Morehouse, an HBCU, and while he was there, he was one of the student bodies that actually, in effect, held hostage the faculty there. And one of the faculty members was Dr. Martin Luther King's father. And so if you've ever seen A Different World, it's a TV series that was based off of the Cosby Show or a spinoff of the Cosby Show, they do a version of that storytelling in one of their episodes where they lock down because they want rights. And even at that point, Morehouse as a university was still, even though it was a black school, was still managed and led by white individuals. And so to have, if you really think about a full circle moment,
the rabbit hole,
a full circle moment to have Samuel L. Jackson playing kind of like the voice of the patriarch or the voice of the politics happening right now and introing each segment, while you have Kendrick being the voice of the people. Just the symbolism, the creativity, the intentionality of all of that. It's just, it went over so many people's heads. And I think people will be looking back on this for years to come saying how prolific and powerful this was.
And shout out to Jay. I know we kind of sometimes be like, okay, Jay this, Jay that.
Wait,
he knew
Jay?
Exactly what he was doing. Jay-Z.
Oh.
He knew exactly what he was doing. Right, Beyonce's baby daddy, Blue Ivy's dad. He knew exactly what he was doing when he picked Kendrick. He knew exactly. Like, Jay is so strategic in that way too. Like, he knew he could have done Lil Wayne. He knew Kendrick was the right run. Wait, what did Kendrick say at the beginning? Like, the revolution would be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong person. Jay knew that Kendrick was going to do that, and he said, Go ahead. I know you're going to care enough, and the symbolism is going to be deep enough that it's going to hit the way it need to hit. And people are going to be mad. Some people might miss it, but the statement has been made and the revolution is on.
This will be the last time a black person performs a halftime show in a long time.
They're going to have to kick out Jay. Go ahead, Ronald.
I just said, especially at this time, to make a statement like this.
Yeah.
What feels correct is, ever since the folding white chair incident on the docks,
Yes,
we are living in a different kind of generation. This is not the, we're just going to protest peacefully with, like our fists in the air and knees on the ground kind of bullshit, and no shade to that. There's a time and a place for all kinds of different protests, but the taking things on the chin and not saying anything or doing things or using the platforms, we out here. And it's great to see that, again, in one of the most segregated hours of television history, Super Bowl Sunday, that you have this message being put out there. And it will be one of many that I'm assuming we'll be seeing over the course of the next 4 years or until something drastic changes.
Yeah, so kudos to you, Kendrick. Thank you.
Oh, and kudos for single-handedly bringing back bell bottoms, because them thighs were thighin'. Them thighs were thighin'.
And bring it out, Serena. Baby with Serena. I was like, damn, Kendrick, you so petty. You are so fucking petty, and I'm living for it. But all right. Well, before we get out of here, we play a segment called Curiosity, just to kind of get to know your thoughts one way or the other, to get to know you two a little more intimately. So, first question here is, coming to the stage is Darnell. What song is playing?
Ooh, that's a good song because I love music. Let me look through. Come to the Stage. Like any like my favorite song.
Any? Yeah. What do you want to be playing for you that represents
I wanna
you? Like, that's my turn up.
I want to say "Spit It Out" by K Tronada. I feel like I've been playing that a lot lately, and K Tronada's a vibe, and I'm like,
okay.
So
coming to the stage is Ronald. What song is playing?
I think I gotta say "Alien Superstar" by Beyonce. That just gets me. I get my life to that every single time I listen to it. If I'm at the gym and I know something's gonna be hard, that is my go-to song. Like,
I'm not mad at that.
I'm one of one.
Whole ass body.
Right. Okay.
What is your Rushmore of TV shows? So that's 4. What's your top 4 shows of all time that you like? That's my Rushmore.
Oh my gosh, this is a hard one.
Yeah, I could go. I think How to Get Away with Murder. Easy. Succession. HBO.
Ooh, okay.
I haven't watched that.
It's so good. It's so good. Another 2. Sex and the City, of course. I watched that. I'm gonna watch it like after this. What else? And lastly, I would say Natives.
I know that's right. That's right. Talk that shit. I know that's right.
No shade. Yeah.
I look for that. I would say, and these may not be my favorites, but they're the first that come to mind. I'm gonna say I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love Charmed. These are like sci-fi fantasy shows I live for. I want to say Scandal was my show for so long. And also right now Friday Night Lights. I love that show so much, and I've been rewatching that.
Did you hear
you knew that was going to be one of the answers?
What?
They're bringing Buffy back.
I saw.
Yes, I saw her post yesterday.
I'm not the biggest fan of reboots, but it needs to be good. So I'm very interested to see. She said that she wasn't interested unless it was right, and they're saying it is. But that is such an iconic show.
I know.
She's such a badass. I love this fantasy genre.
Did you like the Charmed reboot?
Not really. I think that the visual effects were worse than back in 2003.
And you got more to work with now than back then.
Right, but because they want to CGI everything. Yeah. Back then we used to build sets. We used to have aesthetics that you put on people. Yeah. And now everything just was CGI and it looks cheap and it looks fake.
Yeah.
That's a word.
Unless you do something like The Lion King was good. I'll say. I just saw this new Lion King 2.
It was.
The CGI is good.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Jarrell, Dewan, do you have a Rushmore of shows, by the way? Because y'all be watching TV.
Honestly, Buffy and Charmed are in my 2. Like, Deadass are in my 2. Insecure, for sure, is in there as well, too. Yeah. And I really like the show Jane the Virgin. That was
a good. I love the
that was a good one. Yeah. It went on a little too long for me, but it was great.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's like they should have wrapped that shit up, but
the fans wanted it.
Yeah. And if you don't have one right now, though, I'll give you a couple of questions that come back to it. I'll circle back.
I'm just going to put a couple out there because, I watch a lot of TV. But if I go to the shows that I go back to time and time again, I can watch all the time. I would say 227 is one of my favorites. Let's see. The Cosby Show. I know it's not right to say that, but it is what it is. Come find me.
What it is. He wasn't dropping the preludes and the whatever. It was the real person, not the character.
Not Mr. Puddin' Pops. Not Mr. Puddin' Pops.
Right.
And then I would probably say I'm a old Judge Judy head, and you could put I know that sounds like real, like I got one foot in the grave, but it is what it is, and I reserve the right to leave the last spot until I can really process through all the other stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I got one more real quick. That's Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love that show to death.
Good choice. Good choice.
Okay. Did you like the live action season 1?
It was okay.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
that
okay.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the casting choices.
Yes.
But the actions and everything, I feel like it looked good, but I would have cast it differently.
Yeah, I feel like Sokka was just a little off for me.
Even Aang, I'm just like
yeah.
it doesn't give as innocent and carefree as the cartoon does. And
Yeah.
that just adds to him getting himself in sticky situations.
Yeah, agree. Okay.
Okay.
Carell,
I like you.
I like they know I'm more music head and all that, but the one that comes to mind for me, at least, I used to love me some Grey's motherfucking Anatomy. Oh my god, I used to love that show.
Everyone has, because it's gone for 20-something seasons.
Baby, and it's still going. I stopped after Christina left. I was like, okay, that was like season 11. I'm like, damn. So Grey's comes to mind. Insecure comes to mind. Cosby Show comes to mind. What's another one over the years? I don't know. I loved Watchmen.
That was
It
good.
was a limited.
It was one
only
season, but it was so good.
It was really
Babe,
good,
that was
yeah.
some good ass TV.
Maybe the way I saw that man naked, I said, "Oh,
Finish him.
It's such a hard question because it's like, you know, do you go with like the favorites of all time, or like the ones that really had shows and or
An
seasons
impact.
that really connected with you? Like I could say like RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, would probably be one of my tops just because of the representation, the queerness, and you know, all those things. But it's like it is kind of that has been out for 17 seasons now, so I guess that could be a Rushmore.
17, and then the All Stars and all the spinoffs. It's like, damn. All right, couple more here. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Yeah, definitely beach.
Okay.
I feel like I'm meant to be an island boy.
Oh, same here. I hear you on that. Are you a Speedo or are you more of like a trunk?
I'm a trunk. I'm a trunk
Yeah.
boy.
Maybe this summer we'll try Speedo. We'll see.
do it." Everyone should wear a Speedo. Everyone should go
I
out
agree.
in public just one time and wear a Speedo. It's freeing.
Please, for me.
Right, for the community.
Do it for the culture. Do it for the culture.
For the culture. Right. But no, I love a Speedo. I mean, we're about to go to Brazil for Carnival, and I got all my Speedo. I started going through yesterday. I was like, "Ooh, which Speedo am I going to take?"
Yes.
The thing you have to be careful about when you're switching up your styles is like, especially if you tan, what do you wear first? Because if you wear a box cut and then you wear a Speedo, it's a wrap.
It's a
wrap.
That's a
So,
true statement.
I'm just saying, if you do decide to do that, make sure the first 2 days of your trip or whatever, when you're going to be out there soaking up all the sun, wear your skimpiest, because then you can flip flop between, you know, everything else. But if you come out there with them board shorts and then throw on a pair of Speedos and them legs be
looking like a farmersonly.com, but for the legs.
it don't work.
Ronald, I saw a few years ago you were a part of My Hair, My Rules, exploring men's of color's emotional attachment to their hair.
Yes.
What's a haircut for you both that you see on a guy that turns your head every time? You're like, ooh.
Oh, I live for a fade. Fade, tape up, goatee.
Every time.
I live for a lot of hair. Like I love like a curly like mane, like a lion's mane. Like I want to like wash it. I want to like braid it. Like
Oh, you want to sit up? You want
Mario?
your legs right there? You want to be
Right, saying, braid my hair, scratch my dandruff. I know that's right.
You know, I want to play. Yeah, I want to take care of it. So definitely long hair,
right.
Long curly hair.
Just the way love goes.
I know that's right. Bad Bunny or Ricky Martin?
Oh, Bad Bunny.
Ricky Martin, because I don't listen to Bad Bunny like that, to be honest.
Interesting.
Gag, yeah.
It's definitely Bad Bunny for me. I know you were asking him, but and I can't wait to see that man.
I'm asking everybody.
See him in Puerto Rico. I'm just
wait, you're going through?
I am.
Yo,
Everywhere.
Jarrell everywhere.
Yeah, I do
If
get
anything
everywhere.
changes, let me know.
Good luck.
Dewan, Bad Bunny or Ricky Martin?
Probably the one he knows.
Aesthetically or musically?
However you want to
Both.
say
Right, both.
Or be in the middle. That's my answer. I'm Mr. Gray. Just put me in the middle.
Honestly, neither of them do anything for me, to be honest.
Okay.
So, I mean, if I had to choose, it would probably be Ricky.
Okay. Ricky.
I feel like Bad Bunny is a little too small. I might break him. So,
is he tiny?
He is petite.
He look tiny to me.
He's getting a little built, but he's slim.
He's petite.
Yeah.
He ain't no Ricky Martin.
Oh, damn! Now you got me rethinking.
He ain't no Ricky Martin. I'll tell you that.
Ricky's been Ricky forever. So I mean, that was like the first one when growing up. I was like, "Ooh, who is that man? Who's this little Puerto Rican?" but now Bad Bunny, I'm like, I just really fuck with just what Bad Bunny just represents. A, for Puerto Rico,
absolutely.
And B, he's like the Kendrick of Puerto Rico. Fuck y'all. I'm riding for Puerto Rico. So I love that energy. And he's handsome as shit.
And he
Look
plays
at
his
them lips.
that-
I mean, that man got some beautiful lips. Okay, some beautiful lips.
I know that is right. All right, here we go. First word. Oh, go ahead.
I just said now he's tatted up too.
Baby, look. You know how to give a slight little squeeze. Right?
I'm here for it. First word that comes to mind for acting.
Fun.
Theater.
Acting. Fun.
Theater.
Theater.
Okay. For directing.
Intimidating.
Challenging.
For writing.
Fun.
Love.
For New York.
I want to say love again, but
I would say real. Real.
Yeah, it has to be love again. I love the city.
Yeah, okay. And then we always say this one, but I'm trying to think of someone even younger. We say Beyonce or Janet. But y'all younger than this, so y'all might say Beyonce off jump.
No, honestly.
But I know that Beyonce wouldn't be Beyonce without Janet either, so.
Yeah, I would say Beyonce, I guess. But I love Janet's aesthetic. I love her eras. I love her videos. I love her aesthetic a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of I'm maybe in the gray area with that.
Okay. And okay, Nicki or Cardi? I heard you say
Nicki.
Barbs earlier.
There's no question. Nicki.
Okay. Cardi, who's that? Nicki.
Okay, we got the Barbs.
I don't know who Cardi is. Don't get me started.
I love it.
What Kendrick say? You picked the right day, but the wrong one.
Nicki, the queen of rap.
Baby, I went to that Nicki concert last year. I'm telling y'all, the Barbs are something different.
They are.
Come on.
Any fan group I done been around, the Barbs are something different. I was like, whoa.
Right.
Okay.
You don't play.
They was with the rah, rah, rah. I was like, okay, that's right.
That's cool.
Well, he said, Andy. Ronald Darnell, we appreciate you stopping by, seriously, for taking time out of your day. Natives, the series community, seriously, again, you know it's rare that all three of us agree on either a TV show or a song or music or whatever. It's rare for us to take time to be like, oh no, that we fucks with that. So thank you for putting this out there. We need this. We need this art. We need to be seen. We need the visibility. We know, especially in times like now, continue to be visible, continue to be dope. We appreciate you both so much, honestly.
Thank you
so much.
We appreciate you too. Thank you for having us on. This was so much fun. I loved hearing all of your thoughts. I loved the tea that we spilled.
Right.
This was such a great time. Thank you.
Absolutely. And remind them where to find you again. One last time.
Yep.
You can find us on socials at Natives the Series, nativestheseries.com. And Natives on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, natives_series.
There we go.
Yes.
You know, we know some of them community members still got them alt Twitters, them birder twinners.
Okay.
You know,
Come on.
it is what it is. Jarrell, Dewan.
Queerties as well.
Hey, vote the Queerties.
Yes, we have,
please
2 weeks
vote
left.
for them.
2 weeks. Until February 25th.
So you said till February 25th?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So February 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So use all them accounts, them iPads, them phones, everything.
Okay.
You
to
definitely got our
make sure
vote.
that we get the for sure.
Yes.
And are you guys going to go out there to the award
Yep,
ceremony?
we're gonna be in LA.
We're working on it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you might see a couple of us out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be out there.
Yeah,
we'll be
Definitely
out
let
there.
us know.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dewan, Drill, anything else on your hearts and minds?
No, just keep making this day great. Keep listening, keep sharing, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Well, community, wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, community. A lot of you have asked how you can support Minority Report outside of the sharing and downloading and subscribing and leaving reviews. But you can also buy merch. Come on, baby.
I know that's right. And we have a whole lot of options, from clothing to pillows to tumblers and bags. And we continue to update all of our stuff with new styles, new colors, and new products. Jarrell, where can they get all that stuff at?
Well, they can get all that and then some at minorietyreport.com. They can find all the goodies, find out additional information about your aunties. And we also want to make sure that you share and tag us when you do buy merch, all right? So let us know if it's a hoodie, it's a tee, a long shirt, a towel, because we know you need those. But let us know.
Absolutely. And remember to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass.